Donald Trump called up Greg Abbott, and redistricting is supposed to happen once every 10 years. That's when the census happens. He's saying, I want a mid-cycle redistrict because I only have a three-seat majority, and I need a bigger cushion. So get me 5 more seats. And in 2021, there was a bill, the For the People Act, H.R. 1, and it would have banned all gerrymandering, and every single Democrat voted for it, and every single Republican voted against it. Republicans want it this way.
Don't just take Jessica Tarlov's word for it. Just listen to what Texas Republicans and Governor Greg Abbott are saying about their redistricting scheme.
Why do this in a census off year when you just redistricted in 2021?
Because we can. We have the votes. It's legal for us to do so. It's legal for us to draw the lines based on political performance.
Why should you, though?
Because it's good for our party, it's good for our state, and we need to ensure that Donald Trump's agenda continues to be enacted throughout his second term.
Of course, I'm going to side with the president. Listen, I think what we're doing is right, is we need to have more representation.
It's completely constitutional, and I am doing everything I can in my power as an elected member of the state of Texas to make sure that the state of Texas does everything in its power to make sure that Republicans hold on to a majority in the United States Congress. It's past time we redraw these maps. These Democrats need to be punished. This is what the voters that I work for in Texas want.
All these districts that are being added are districts that were won by Trump. Here's the point of that. These voters in these districts won by Trump, they don't have the ability to vote for their candidate of choice now because they're in congressional districts. They're in a Democrat district, as opposed to a district won by Trump.
Mind you, this is just a taste of the arguments being laid out to justify this brazen power grab per Donald Trump's request. Now, while it is true that the Democrats have used gerrymandering to their advantage before, their efforts pale in comparison to the Republican Party's strategy to use race as a determining factor in their decisions.
But if you don't fight fire with fire, what are we supposed to do? In a midterm, you're supposed to pick up seats. So we're supposed to just sit there and take it like this? That's why Hochul says that we are at war. And it looks that way to me. And I'm someone who doesn't usually argue for this kind of behavior.
For me, it's about dang time that the Democrats showed some actual fight and say, okay, this is how you want to play? I can get nasty too. We can play that game. Enough of the performative gestures, right? Enough of the empty moves and empty statements. Nah, this energy is appreciated in fighting the Republican Party. Now, there is so much hypocrisy of right-wingers, though, complaining about how Texas Democrats don't want to work when their entire ideology relies on obstructing policies that would benefit the American people.
We have an opportunity in Texas to pick up 5 seats. We have a really good governor, and we have good people in Texas. And I won Texas. I got the highest vote in the history of Texas, as you probably know. And we are entitled to 5 more seats.
This whole thing with Trump and Republicans feeling like they're entitled to more congressional seats is so asinine, right? That's not how it works. That's not how the government works. Like, that attitude is inherently anti-democratic. You have to earn it. You have to work for it to get congressional seats. Not something that you just deserve because you want it. And it's ironic, right? Because so much of the talking points around America these days, especially coming from Trump and the Republican Party, is that people feel so entitled. People want handouts from the government, but they feel entitled to more congressional seats. Have you lost your mind?
The way they are trying to give Trump more protection and more seats is by diluting the votes of working class communities and communities of color. At the end of the day, we do need to get rid of gerrymandering nationwide. Pass a federal bill like the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act to get rid of gerrymandering and get big money out of politics. But what Democrats can't continue to do is to allow right-wing extremists in states like Texas to silence our voices, while in blue states we don't fight back.
What they're doing is driving a dagger through minority representation all across this country. If they're successful in Texas, they'll take it up to the Trump Supreme Court, and they're going to try to do this everywhere. Every black member of Congress from Texas has either been drawn out of their district or put in a more Republican district so they can't hold office anymore. The Hispanic districts have all been drawn so that it's heavily turnout Anglo communities with low turnout Hispanic communities to guarantee that Hispanic folks weren't able to have a voice in Congress.
This redistricting scheme is a perfect example, y'all, of how systemic racism in America plays out in the real world and is directly tied, or I should say directly linked, to political power. Because what they're trying to do is reduce the effectiveness of the minority vote, reduce the effectiveness of the marginalized community's vote, especially so in red states. So again, we understand what the objective is here. It's no secret. The question is, will it be stopped, right? Because that's what's really important. For LHQ, I'm Chris Williamson. We'll see you next time.